stubborn little booger. Howdy, my name is Ashley and I want to thank you for taking this time to watch my video. I like to put the recipe notes afterwards because I just think for a lot of us, we like to go and see how it's made, and then any questions that we might have, we can go and find them at the end of the video. So one of the things about this pie crust, when I was younger, my mom would curse a blue streak anytime she would make pie crust, and she always found it to go and crack and to break. And so pie crust always scared me because she would literally lose her religion every time she would make a pie, even though the pies that she made were absolutely amazing. And so I came across this pie crust recipe kind of out of accident. And what happened is the first couple of times I made it, it rolled out like an absolute dream. And I thought, wow, this is something that I can actually go and use and make my own. However, because it has such a high fat content in it with the cream cheese and with the butter, and you can see I use a European butter, it is incredibly tender, and because of that, it means the dough is less elastic and it is more prone to cracking than some pie crusts. So one of the things that I do is I refrigerate it. Through refrigeration, it rehydrates the flour. So when you first mix the dough, the flour hasn't fully absorbed the water yet. So resting allows everything to equalize. It relaxes the gluten, and even this dough isn't super gluten-y. What gluten does exist, it gets a chance to relax. And then it firms up the fat. So the cold butter and the cream cheese creates layers. The dough, when you take it out of the fridge and then bring it up to almost room temperature, it will still have cracks in it. So it is, again, not your typical pastry, and therefore what you'll need is some cold water and some flour, because the same thing that makes the crust flaky is the exact same thing that makes it crack. So I spackle them with water and dry flour because pastry isn't drywall. Or wait, it's because that's exactly why. It kind of is like drywall. So when you patch a crack with a little flour and gently press it together, you are actually not ruining the crust. You are repairing an expected consequence of a high-fat dough like this one. At the end of the day, all this fussiness pays off. You get a pastry that's tender and flaky and just a little different from your typical pie crust. I personally think that it is worth every bit of the trouble. So before I roll it out, I give it a few good whacks with a rolling pin, and it helps flatten it. It wakes it up a little and it encourages it to relax, so I'm not fighting it when I start rolling. And then I use this rolling pin because when you're rolling it out, you can control the distribution of the weight a little bit better. And also, especially once your crust gets wider, you're not leaving it with creases and things in your crust like you would with a rolling pin like this one with a sharper edge. And then also, after every few washes, I will go in and I will use some food grade mineral oil in order to help keep my crust hydrated. Another thing that I love using when it comes to the lattice crust is lattice is rustic and it allows the fruit to vent and to avoid spillage. So you're always going to need some sort of opening for your fruit because it has a lot of liquid in it. It's going to create a lot of steam. So the mezzaluna is wonderful for quick cuts, and you have a nice little even square or rectangle, and then you can quickly and evenly cut your lattice pieces. And then another thing is whenever you are using this pastry, you will need to make sure that your filling is cool. So by having cool filling, heat is the enemy of this and it will cause shrinkage. And having cool filling will make sure that your crust does not shrink, and also that it doesn't start to melt and literally come apart in your hands because, again, it has so much fat. Once again, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to go and to watch my pie crust video. I want to thank my sous chef Lana, who is great at cleaning up after me in the kitchen. I will also put some affiliate links in the description, and if you are in the Austin area or even outside of the Austin area, I can bake for you. I offer baking classes at sweeteberharts.com, and please stay tuned and watch some of my other videos that will be coming down the pipeline very soon. Thank you.